Hello! So, I promise this title was not clickbait. Most of you are from my Instagram, so like if you follow my Instagram, I'm sure you already know. So I was admitted to the hospital about almost 2 weeks ago now, close to 2 weeks, and I was in the hospital for 8 days. And I took thorough notes of everything that happened to me. It's like 5 pages of notes of like everything I did and everything that I went through. And I'm gonna make a series of videos. I don't know how many videos. I'm probably gonna try and keep them all at like 10, 15 minutes before editing, and then I'm gonna edit out all of my stutters and like right now, I'm stuttering right now. I don't remember what to say. And my ums and my buts and the blah, blah, all those. I'm gonna edit all of them. So the series I'm gonna try and make is gonna be like, first I'm going to explain why I went to the hospital, and then I'm gonna talk about like I was in 3 different facilities, from like one semi-long-term, 2 different hospitals, and the psych ward in one of those hospitals, and then a 72-hour holding place as well. So I'm going to talk about each of those as they occurred, and then I'm going to have a wrap-up video of like, this is what I thought, like, this is why I'm glad that I did it overall, even despite the really hard parts of it, and just like help you guys figure out if you get to this point, if going to the hospital might be the right thing for you. So yeah, I guess we'll just get right into it. So why I went to the hospital. I have a video that I only had set to where you could watch it with a link. I don't remember the term for that, but I will actually link that down below. But that was made a month or 2 ago or something, and what I was going through there wasn't even half of like what was to come. And you also probably saw my video reading my goodbye letter to my dog. So I'm just gonna kind of start from where this depression relapse started. So when my grandfather was like in the hospital, that was when I first felt my depression starting. And then when like it was just progressively getting worse, and my therapist and I were working on coping skills, and I was starting to get a little bit better, and then my grandfather died, and I just completely like, that was when my appetite completely gone. My appetite was totally gone, and that was like really like the downfall of everything. And then shortly after, I lost one of my jobs, and then I lost my great-grandfather. And then from there, I had about a week where I felt at least semi-normal. This whole time, my appetite is gone, so I'm like literally forcing myself to eat just to function. And I only take 2 classes online, but they're pretty intense courses, and because they're like half semesters, so it's a lot like shoved into half a semester. And I also work full-time, so I'm pretty busy, and I don't have the energy to expend on myself because I'm so exhausted from my depression. And then my dog started getting sick, and as his physical health went down, my mental health went down. And my parents helped me pay for quite a few of the bills. The bills were over $1,000 for trying to keep him healthy, and I paid about $350 of that, and they paid the rest. And that $350 for me was like everything I had, and like it wiped all of my parents' money like that they had set aside. Like we literally gave everything to keep this dog alive. And unfortunately, it got to the point where he was never gonna get better unless he got MRIs and surgeries, and the MRI alone is like $2,000, and the surgery is another $1,000 because it's like intense spinal surgery. And it just got to the point where I couldn't afford the like 4 different medications that he was on just to keep him normal, and he was still getting worse no matter what we did. I even bought him this like specialty harness, and like everything just made him worse. And as his physical health declined, my mental health just went completely down the drain. And when we had to put him down, it would, like, I got PTSD from putting him down. I still get flashbacks. They're not as bad as they were. He's been gone for almost 3 weeks now. Tomorrow it'll be 3 weeks. But the flashbacks aren't as bad as they were. But the first few days, I couldn't do anything without having a flashback. And I was breaking down constantly, and, like, it was horrible. It was one of the worst things I've ever felt in my life. And I've been through a lot of shit in my life. And so that was when I talked with my therapist, and I made the decision to go on medication for my depression because coping skills were not enough. I was not able to handle my depression on my own. I couldn't eat without, like, wanting to throw up. I couldn't get out of bed until the absolute last minute when I had to. Classwork, I wasn't even thinking about. Like, it was very difficult to even function. I hadn't showered in, like, a week. Like, it was really bad. And so I didn't have a psychiatrist, so I went to my primary care physician for medication. That was mistake number one. Yeah, she had all good intentions, but she prescribed me a medication that did not work very well because we actually figured out in the hospital that most of my depression is a side effect of my anxiety, because my anxiety is what takes over more. My anxiety controls me more. And I didn't know this when I was at the doctor's office. And she gave me a general depression medication. And most depression medications do have the side effect of getting worse before they get better. And I was already at the brink of, like, suicide. Like, I was already having suicidal thoughts, but I wasn't making a plan. I wasn't having suicidal tendencies yet. So I was like, I'm still okay. I'm still functioning. I don't have a plan. I'm trying to work through this. I'm doing good, and I'm gonna get this medication, and it's gonna help me. And then I literally just laid down in my bed, like, a day later, and had a complete panic attack at 1 a.m, because I remembered all of a sudden out of nowhere how it felt when my dog used to sleep next to me. And if you don't know, this dog has literally saved my life. He brought my mom to me on my first suicide attempt. I was 14. He stopped me from self-harming when he was around me. He has been with me through all of my trauma, and he literally fell into us, like, into our family. We weren't planning on getting another dog, but one of my mother's friends had quite a few dogs that were not neutered and spayed, and boom, puppies! And they were like, please, please, please take one. And he fell into me, like, right when I needed him, and losing him was so incredibly painful. And so, like, I was just launched into a panic attack, and I ended up going to the floor in our hallway because I couldn't be in my bed and I couldn't be on the couch. Like, anything padded, like, instantly triggered me. Like, I could, like, even worse. And it would just make the breakdown worse. And all of a sudden, like, all these suicidal thoughts started coming into my head at once. And I started making a plan. Like, my plan was to OD on leftover medications from my surgery. And, like, that was the first time when I'd really made a plan, and I kept, like, having to stop myself from going to my medicine cabinet and grabbing it. And I reached out to friends, and they were asleep, and I reached out to a crisis hotline, and the woman on the hotline was literally, like, I explained everything that's been going on, and she was literally like, I don't really know how to help you. Like, she said it in a much nicer way. Like, I did the texting hotline. She was like, I don't know how to help you. And then she texted me a link to an article about how to grieve. And I was like, yeah, you really don't know how to help me. Like, I literally want to die right now. I want to kill myself, and I'm trying to find a reason to not live right now. Or, like, to live. And part of my issue, too, was all of my reasons were for other people. I just had this overwhelming sense of, like, oh my god, like, I don't want to be here anymore. Everything is going wrong. Nothing is going right. I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm trying to make it right, and everything is just still going wrong. And it was a really terrible breakdown, and, like, one of my friends ended up reaching out to me, and she calmed me down a bit. And it was enough to help me, but I still couldn't go to bed, so she convinced me to grab a pillow and my charger and like a blanket so that I could at least be somewhat comfortable sleeping on the floor. And my stepdad was on call, and at about 3 a.m. he got a call and he had to get up, and he saw me laying in the hallway, and he was like, hey, what's going on? And I explained it to him, and I was really honest with him, and I told him that I wanted to kill myself, and I was thinking about doing it, and I didn't feel safe to be around myself. And like the whole time I was talking to people, I was like, I think I need to go to the hospital. I think I need to go to the hospital. I can't handle this. I can't do this. I don't trust myself. And no one was really like listening to it. And then my mom came out, and because my stepdad woke my mom up, and my mom came out, and she asked me what was going on, and I explained everything to her. And she asked me, she's like, do you think you need to go to the hospital? And I was kind of like iffy. I was like, I don't know. I just really don't feel safe being around myself. I'm just worried about being alone because I don't know what I'll do if I don't have someone watching me. I'm worried about having this medication in my reach. And my mom was like, all right, get up. We're going to the hospital. And I was just kind of like, okay, that's the right thing. So I packed a small bag of just like clothes, no strings, nothing restricting. Pack comfortable clothes if you're ever gonna go to the hospital. Like I literally packed t-shirts and sweats. And again, sweats with no strings, or if they do, you have to pull the string out, or cut them out because if they're like sewn in. But the best thing is to pull them out while you're at home, because if you go to the hospital, they're gonna cut them out. So try and get them all out at home. If you have any hoodies, pull the string out. And no laces in your shoes. So I brought socks, a bunch of different socks, and like I have a few grippy socks from like trampoline parks and stuff, and those are way more comfortable than hospital socks. So I brought those, and like some little slippers, and I also brought some sandals for the showers and for like if we happen to go outside or if I just want to be in shoes. This video is getting to be like 13 minutes long already. I know I'm gonna edit it down, but I am going to make the, like, starting to go into the hospital and that whole shebang in the next video. And I'm gonna try and upload all these videos at once. Maybe. Or I might spread them out. I don't know. It'll be linked down below when it's up. Alright? Cool.